and 500,000. So healthcare is driving over 60%, close to 2/3 of our bankruptcy claims are middle class, well-educated people who did all the right things, but they cannot contain these healthcare costs, and they cannot handle them. I've had friends, doctors, successful developers, go bankrupt because of a single health event. We are the only nation, the only developed nation on earth that doesn't guarantee at least access to basic preventive and catastrophic care for every citizen. And you have to believe with an investment of $7,500 per patient, we can't at least achieve that. So, as I said about trying to develop a practice that was different, I was at a crossroads 9 years ago, where I was ready to leave medicine because it has gotten so complex, but the pressure on doctors is so intense to see more and more patients in less and less time. Our break even on the insurance side of LifeScape is now less than 6 minutes a patient. My family doctor did a 32-minute complex assessment of one of my children and lab work and other testing. She got paid $39 plus my copay. My hairdresser, who's worth her weight in gold, my hairdresser is doing better than my family doctor. And then the cardiologist who saw my daughter for one of the 6 problems that she dealt with so expertly and had everything served up to him on a silver platter already done, he got paid over $600 for his 10 minutes with one medical visit. So we are completely undervaluing primary care and prevention and completely overvaluing some of the other procedural-oriented subspecialties. And that math does not compute. We also have 18,000 people, I think, per day turning 65, and I'm at the tail end of that baby boomer generation going, there's not going to be anything left for me. And my kids, sheesh, don't even think about it. But the average patient entering Medicare can expect to pay in 1/3 of what they're going to get paid out. Now, again, you don't need a financial planner to tell you that that is a prescription for disaster. That math is not going to compute. I am looking right now with my business at a 27.4% Medicare cut across the board at the end of this month, a couple weeks away. And it keeps getting kicked down the aisle a little bit, but you know what? With that kind of thing facing every small business run by a physician, you can't buy equipment, you can't hire people, you can't barely function. You don't know if you're going to be alive a couple months from now. That's not a way to handle business. And as I've explained to the legislators repeatedly, Medicare does need to be cut. There are gross inefficiencies. You'll be happy to know your tax dollars are paying for, and oncologists are promoting right now, a prostate cancer treatment. And we've all seen the media blitz on prostate cancer. We don't really know that any treatment really is changing the outcome of that disease process. So, but they're pushing this big prostate treatment, and your tax dollars are paying for it. It promises to possibly extend life about 4 months. Cost? $93,000. So this is the intelligent spending that we're doing. We don't want to ration, though, because rationing would be bad, but we don't want to really pay for everyone to have everything. So we have to come to some agreements about intelligent rationing, because right now we're rationing irrationally, right? Got 55 million people with no insurance. 1/3 of younger Americans are uninsured. You know, one motor vehicle accident, you're looking at $250,000 easy. Now, how is that going to work out, right? So we've got to learn we've got to cut Medicare, but it needs to be done with a scalpel, not a machete, okay? So we need to be having these conversations with our legislators. But as I'm putting this business together, I decided I want to be about medicine that is patient-centered, okay? We have institution-centered healthcare. We have payer-centered healthcare. When the insurance company is footing the bill, they're the ones that really make the decisions, okay? But as I thought about patient-centered care, I had to figure out what is it that patients want. You know, what are we about? And, you know, the more I kind of delved into it, the more I laugh about it, because if there's one thing I've learned in 20 years as a family physician, it is that human beings are emotional beings. They are not logical, okay? And as I tell my kids all the time, perfection's a great goal. It's not achievable. Although I still push you on it a little bit, don't I? I know I can't be the only one in this room who probably puts on at least 119 different, probably toxic, highly questionable chemicals that are completely unregulated on my body before I get out of the bathroom during the day, but then go out to dinner and say, but is it organic? Right? Do we have common sense? Not so much. Or I tell my kids, you know, with the Girl Scout cookies, which we buy, I can't even tell you how many, we are big investors in Girl Scouts. You know, 3 cookies is a serving size, but I've got mine hidden away, so a sleeve is a serving size, you know. Okay, do as I say, not as I do. But anyway, so what do I learn about people in the last 20 years as a family doctor? Well, we tend to value instant gratification over long-term planning, right? We want it now. We're not going to, I mean, look at Hurricane Katrina, perfect example. We will spend exorbitant sums on rescue, but we will fight tooth and nail to spend a few bucks on prevention. Has anyone seen the Forks Over Knives movie? Yes. Another perfect example. You know, we will pay exorbitant sums for a 5-vessel bypass, but we spend less than 5% of our healthcare dollar on prevention. So no wonder we're in a sorry mess. So yeah, we value instant gratification. We also value luxury over necessity, right? We're girls. You know, which part of my business suffered the most during the recession? Was it the medical visits? You know, what's going to give when money's tight? Is it going to be the pap smear or the hair color? It's no, hands down. And not just me, you know. No, hands down. The skincare stayed steady. There was not a blip in losses in our laser treatments or other skincare things. Medical visits down 17%. Okay, so this is human nature. We already talked about, we value rescue over prevention. We don't want to ration, but we don't want to pay for anything either. You know, we don't want to be forced into buying insurance, but we will rail against anyone who doesn't get their medical care taken care of in an emergency. So we will require that hospital to take all comers when it comes to emergency, but we don't want to pay for that. Okay, well, we have to come to those conclusions, and we have to become a little compromised with ourselves. Is it any wonder, why do you women want to go into government? I mean, this is, you know, God bless you. This is all I can say, right? Well, yeah, right. She said, I'm glad I'm not in it anymore. 16 years. Oh, God bless you. That's all I can say. But yeah, I mean, this is what our legislators have to deal with. Yeah, we want our cake, but we want somebody else to pay for it. Okay? So, you know, is it any wonder where we are? I mean, it's not just medicine. Winston Churchill used to say, a healthy citizen is a nation's greatest asset. But he also said, you can always trust Americans to do the right thing after they've tried everything else. Can we just be done trying everything else already? Because no, that's not what I'm about.